So many men think women only want to hear that they're beautiful, pretty, or attractive. But let me tell you, something powerful. When those words are repeated without depth, they lose their meaning. A woman doesn't just want to be noticed, she wants to be understood. She doesn't just want flattery. She wants to feel that you see her in ways most people overlook. And the truth is, the compliments that touch her soul are not the ones shouted loudly, but the ones whispered with sincerity. The ones that tell her you've paid attention to who she really is. Today, I'll share with you 6 compliments women crave yet rarely ever hear. And once you understand this, you'll realize that words are not just words. They are bridges to her heart. Women are tired of surface-level compliments because they live in a world where appearance has been placed on a pedestal, while their true essence is often overlooked. From the moment she steps out of her home, a woman is bombarded with words about her looks, her hair, her smile, her body, her dress. Yet, as flattering as it may sound at first, with time these words begin to feel hollow. They lose their meaning because they are spoken without depth, without awareness, without truly seeing who she is. What many fail to understand is that while beauty can attract attention, it is not what nourishes her soul. A woman wants to be acknowledged in ways that make her feel she is more than a face, more than a body, more than an object of admiration. She craves words that tell her she is valued not only for how she appears, but for how she thinks, feels, gives, and exists in the world. This is why surface-level compliments no longer satisfy her. They remind her that most people only notice what shines on the outside while ignoring the richness that lives within her. A woman may hear, "You look beautiful," 100 times, but if no one acknowledges her wisdom, her resilience, or her strength, she begins to feel unseen. And the truth is, most women are exhausted from being noticed for the obvious rather than the extraordinary qualities that lie beneath the surface. When she pours herself into her work, when she shows up for others despite her own struggles, when she grows through pain and hardship, she longs to hear someone say, "I see how hard you've worked. I see the strength it takes to keep going." That acknowledgement fills her in ways no generic compliment ever could. She doesn't want validation that is shallow, because shallow validation does not reflect who she truly is. She wants depth. She wants recognition that goes beyond the external, because only then does she feel genuinely appreciated. Surface-level compliments also create a sense of sameness. Every woman, no matter how different, is told she is beautiful, pretty, or cute. But when everyone receives the same words, they lose their uniqueness. What she yearns for is the kind of compliment that makes her feel irreplaceable. It could be something as simple as telling her you admire the way her presence changes the atmosphere of a room, or how her perspective made you think differently, or how her kindness left an imprint on you. These are the compliments that stick because they tell her that you are paying attention, that you notice what others overlook. A surface-level compliment only brushes the surface, but a meaningful one penetrates her heart and makes her feel truly seen. Another reason women are tired of surface-level compliments is because they often feel transactional, as if someone is offering them just to gain favor or attention. A woman can sense when words are spoken with intention and when they are spoken out of habit, or with an ulterior motive. Hollow flattery feels like a performance, and rather than drawing her closer, it creates distance. But when words come from sincerity, they carry weight. A compliment that acknowledges her essence, her inner qualities, or her silent struggles shows her that you are not trying to win her over with empty gestures. You are truly appreciating her. This authenticity is rare, and because it is rare, it is powerful. The emptiness of surface-level compliments also ties into the reality that women are constantly judged by their appearance, often against unrealistic standards. Being praised only for her beauty reinforces that idea, reminding her that society sees her as a body before it sees her as a human being. This is why many women push back against shallow words. They do not want to be reduced to an object. What they desire is acknowledgement of the depth they bring, the wisdom they hold, and the impact they create. They want someone to recognize their journey, not just their reflection. When you tell a woman that her strength inspires you or that her way of handling challenges has taught you something, you are honoring her humanity rather than her image. At the core, women are not rejecting compliments themselves, but the superficiality of them. They want words that feel earned, words that reflect awareness, words that carry truth. A woman who is admired only for her beauty may feel desired, but a woman who is admired for her soul feels cherished. The difference is monumental. Surface, level compliments touch the ear, but meaningful compliments touch the heart. And once a woman has experienced that depth, she will always crave it more than the shallow validation that fades as quickly as it is spoken. Recognition of her effort and resilience makes her feel deeply valued because it goes beyond what most people notice and touches the very core of her being. Every woman in her own way is carrying battles that are often invisible to the world. She shows up every day balancing responsibilities, emotions, and the expectations placed upon her. Yet much of her strength and perseverance is silently endured. She may work tirelessly in her career, support her family, nurture relationships, or even carry herself with dignity through personal struggles. But too often those sacrifices remain unacknowledged. When someone looks beyond the surface and sees the weight she has carried, when someone tells her that they recognize her resilience and the effort behind her presence, it fills her with a sense of being truly valued. Unlike shallow compliments that focus only on the external, recognition of effort speaks directly to her soul because it assures her that she is not invisible, that what she gives, what she endures, and how she keeps moving forward does not go unnoticed. For a woman, resilience is not just about strength in a single moment, but about the repeated decision to rise again and again despite the difficulties. Life tests her in countless ways, sometimes through disappointments, sometimes through responsibilities, and often through the silent sacrifices she makes for others. To hear someone say, "I see how strong you are," or "I admire the way you keep going despite the challenges," is more than just words. It is validation of her journey. It tells her that her struggle was not in vain, that her silent courage has left an impression. This kind of acknowledgement creates a profound emotional connection because it shows her that you are not just seeing the final outcome of her efforts, but the process, the endurance, and the resilience that built her strength, and that is what truly makes her feel valued. Recognition of effort also makes her feel safe in being her authentic self. Many women are conditioned to give endlessly without asking for appreciation, to carry responsibilities quietly, and to remain wrong even when they are exhausted. But deep down, every woman longs for someone to notice the invisible weight she carries. When you acknowledge her effort, you give her permission to be seen as human, then as someone who must always hold everything together. This acknowledgement reminds her that her worth is not tied only to success or appearance, but also to the courage and determination she demonstrates behind the scenes. It allows her to let her guard down because she feels understood on a level far deeper than surface recognition. Another layer to this is that when a woman's resilience is acknowledged, she begins to trust more deeply. Words of appreciation create emotional intimacy because they reveal attentiveness. They show her that you are not blind to her struggles or ignorant of her sacrifices. You notice the long hours she puts into her work, the way she continues to nurture others even when she is tired, or the way she chooses to rise from her own setbacks with grace. This kind of awareness builds trust because it tells her she does not have to carry everything in silence. It assures her that she is partnered with someone who values her essence, not just what she provides. That recognition transforms her sense of connection and makes her feel truly cherished. When her resilience is seen, she also begins to see her own strength in a new light. Many women underestimate their efforts because they have been conditioned to think of resilience as normal or expected. But when someone takes the time to acknowledge her strength, it reframes her journey. It makes her realize that her courage and persistence are not ordinary but extraordinary. It shifts the way she values herself, making her understand that the qualities she thought were overlooked are actually the very qualities that define her power. This deeper sense of being valued gives her emotional fuel, allowing her to keep going with more confidence because she knows she is not only enduring life but inspiring others through her resilience. Recognition of effort also strengthens the bond between two people because it shows empathy. Instead of reducing her identity to beauty or charm, it acknowledges her humanity and her struggles. Empathy in this form tells her that she is not alone, that someone understands the layers of her life that others might dismiss. And because resilience is often built in silence, the act of having it seen is like opening a door to her heart. She feels understood in ways she may never have expressed aloud. That feeling of being deeply valued is not only empowering, but also creates loyalty because she is more likely to stay close to someone who sees her essence and appreciates the unseen parts of her journey. Compliments about her mind and wisdom resonate stronger than flattery about beauty because they touch the essence of who she is rather than just what she looks like. Beauty can be admired by anyone, and physical appearance is something that naturally catches attention, but it is also fleeting and often shallow when compared to the depth of intellect, perspective, and wisdom. A woman knows that her appearance may draw eyes, but it is her mind that holds real value and uniqueness. When someone acknowledges her intelligence, the way she thinks, the clarity of her perspective, or the depth of her wisdom, it makes her feel seen in a way that beauty alone cannot capture. This kind of recognition connects with her identity, her experiences, her growth, and her individuality. It tells her that she is not just a face to be admired, but a soul and mind to be deeply respected. For many women, compliments about beauty can feel repetitive and surface level. They are accustomed to hearing words about how they look, how attractive they are, or how charming their smile might be. While such compliments can feel pleasant, they do not always feel special because they focus on something external that others can also notice without effort. Beauty, after all, does not require intention or discipline. It is something one is either born with or enhances through appearance. But wisdom and intellect are cultivated through effort, learning, and life experiences. True worth. But when her intellect is acknowledged, she feels seen for her depth, for her capacity to reason, to advise, to inspire, and to influence. Compliments about her wisdom carry weight because they are rare and sincere. They are not the type of words every passerby can say at a glance, but observations that require attentiveness and genuine appreciation. When you highlight her ability to see situations clearly, the sharpness of her insight, or the way she carries wisdom that influences those around her, it communicates that you are not merely looking at her, but actually paying attention to who she is. That kind of acknowledgement stirs emotions that superficial flattery can never achieve. Furthermore, wisdom is something that deepens with time, which makes compliments about it timeless. While beauty may fade or change with age, a woman's wisdom continues to grow richer with experience. By complimenting her mind, you are not attaching her value to something that is temporary or fragile, but to something that strengthens and evolves as she does. This gives her a sense of security, knowing that she is appreciated not for what will one day pass, but for what will only become more powerful. When you tell her that her perspective makes you think differently, or that her words have given you clarity, or that her wisdom has brought you peace, you are honoring the part of her that will remain luminous no matter how much time passes. Compliments about her mind also build emotional intimacy because they require attentiveness. To truly compliment her wisdom, you must have listened to her, observed her, and absorbed what she has shared. This makes her feel not only valued, but deeply understood. It tells her that her voice matters, her thoughts leave an impact, and her inner world is being heard. This builds a connection that beauty alone cannot achieve because while appearance may catch the eye, wisdom captures the soul. A woman feels emotionally closer to someone who cherishes her intellect because it means she is not being admired as an ornament, but as a partner, a thinker, and an equal who brings value beyond the surface. Acknowledging her mind also empowers her to express herself more freely. Many women withhold their true thoughts because they are used to being praised only for their appearance. When she realizes that her intellect is appreciated, she feels encouraged to share more of her perspective, her insights, and her ideas. This not only makes her feel valued, but also strengthens the relationship because communication becomes deeper and more meaningful. Complimenting her wisdom is like giving her a mirror that reflects back her worth beyond the external, reminding her that her mind is as magnetic as her beauty. And when she feels that both her heart and intellect are being cherished, she becomes more invested, more open, and more confident in the bond she is building. Acknowledging her nurturing qualities makes her embrace her femininity because it highlights a part of her that is often overlooked in a world that constantly tells women to compete, to harden themselves, and to measure their worth by standards that strip them away from their natural essence. Nurturing is not just about caregiving in the traditional sense. It is about the energy of warmth, compassion, and attentiveness that a woman brings into relationships and environments. When a man takes the time to recognize and appreciate this quality in her, she feels seen for who she truly is at her core rather than for what she is expected to be. Femininity is deeply tied to the ability to give without keeping score, to pour into others with gentleness, and to create a space where love, care, and empathy can thrive. Complementing her nurturing side affirms that these qualities are not weaknesses, but strengths that bring depth, balance, and beauty to the connection she shares with others. For many women, their nurturing qualities are something they express naturally, yet they often go unnoticed or underappreciated. Society tends to celebrate external achievements and appearances more than inner virtues, which leaves women feeling that their softer, more feminine traits are invisible or undervalued. When a man acknowledges her nurturing nature, when he notices the way she listens deeply, comforts in silence, or puts thought into the smallest details that make someone else feel cared for, it awakens a deeper sense of fulfillment in her. She begins to embrace her femininity not as something ordinary or expected, but as something extraordinary that is worth cherishing. This creates a powerful shift within her because, instead of questioning if her softness is being taken for granted, she feels proud and confident in the very essence of her womanhood. Acknowledgement of her nurturing side also makes her feel safe to express it more openly. Women naturally withdraw when they feel that their giving is unappreciated or met with indifference because continuing to pour without recognition eventually leads to emotional exhaustion. But when her nurturing spirit is honored, she feels energized to give more of herself. She no longer feels like she has to hold back or protect her heart out of fear that her efforts will go unnoticed. Instead, she steps deeper into her feminine essence, allowing her softness, empathy, and care to flow more freely. This doesn't just strengthen her bond with the man who notices it, but it also enhances her own inner confidence, because she is reminded that her femininity is a gift, not a liability. There is something profoundly intimate about recognizing a woman's nurturing nature because it tells her that someone is paying attention to the little things she does instinctively. Maybe it is the way she makes sure you eat when you're tired, the way she offers encouragement when you doubt yourself, or the way she creates an atmosphere where you feel at peace. These are not grand gestures, but they carry immense emotional weight. And when they are acknowledged, she feels that her invisible efforts are no longer unseen. This kind of validation makes her lean even further into her femininity because she realizes that what makes her unique is not her ability to compete or achieve like everyone else, but her ability to love and care in ways that transform the lives of those around her. Furthermore, embracing her femininity through recognition of her nurturing side deepens emotional intimacy in a relationship. When a man notices and compliments her care, she feels more connected, more vulnerable, and more willing to let him into her inner world. This is because her nurturing is not something she gives lightly. It is a sacred part of her essence that she only offers when she feels valued and respected. By affirming it, you are not only strengthening her confidence but also building trust because she sees that you understand and appreciate her at a level most people overlook. This trust makes her embrace her femininity even more because she now feels that her giving will be met with gratitude rather than taken for granted. Another powerful effect of acknowledging her nurturing qualities is that it allows her to embrace the duality of her femininity, the softness that comforts and the strength that supports. Nurturing is not just about being gentle, it is also about being resilient, about holding others up when they are weak, and about offering stability when life feels uncertain. When this is recognized, she no longer sees her femininity as fragile, but as powerful in its ability to heal, to inspire, and to bring light into darkness. This perspective makes her proud of her womanhood and encourages her to embody it fully without hesitation or self-doubt. By appreciating her nurturing qualities, you are essentially telling her that her femininity is enough, that she doesn't need to suppress it, compete with it, or replace it with traits that do not align with her essence. She can be celebrated not just for what she does, but for who she is. And this acknowledgement becomes a mirror that reflects her deepest beauty back to her. In that moment, she feels not only valued, but also empowered to embrace her femininity unapologetically, knowing that her nurturing nature is not just noticed, but deeply cherished. Pointing out her uniqueness makes her feel irreplaceable because it touches the deepest longing every woman carries within her heart. The desire to be seen not just for what she does or how she looks, but for who she is in a way that no one else could ever replicate. In a world where women are constantly compared to one another, judged by superficial standards and often reduced to categories that strip them of their individuality, there is nothing more powerful than being recognized for the traits, habits, and qualities that set her apart. When you take the time to notice her unique essence, the little things that others may overlook, she no longer feels like just another person passing through your life. She feels like the one who holds a special place that no one else can ever fill. This recognition goes beyond generic compliments or rehearsed words. It is about paying attention with depth and awareness. Anyone can say she is beautiful or kind, but very few can notice the subtleties that make her different. Maybe it's the way she laughs when she's truly happy, the way she thinks differently from everyone else in the room, or the way she turns ordinary moments into something meaningful. Pointing out these rare details shows her that you are not simply observing her from the surface, but that you are tuned in to her essence. This kind of recognition makes her feel cherished at a soul level because it tells her that who she is cannot be replaced, replicated, or substituted by anyone else. When a woman feels irreplaceable, she relaxes into her femininity with greater confidence. She no longer feels the need to compete with others, to prove herself, or to question whether she is enough. Instead, she embraces the fact that her uniqueness is what makes her valuable. This emotional security strengthens her bond with you because she sees that your appreciation is not shallow or fleeting, but grounded in something real and lasting. You are not choosing her because she happens to be there. You are choosing her because there is no one else like her, and that realization makes her invest even more deeply into the connection. Pointing out her uniqueness also builds an intimacy that words alone cannot describe. It creates a space where she feels free to reveal more of herself because she knows that you are someone who sees beyond the obvious. When she feels that her individuality is noticed and celebrated, she is far more likely to let her guard down and share her authentic self. This vulnerability strengthens attraction because she feels safe being her true self without fear of being compared, dismissed, or overlooked. That kind of emotional closeness cannot be manufactured through effort. It only grows when a woman feels that her uniqueness is valued at a level beyond what she presents to the outside world. Another profound effect of acknowledging her uniqueness is that it makes her realize that she brings something to your life that no one else can. Women often fear being replaceable, especially in relationships, because society bombards them with the idea that they must constantly compete, look a certain way, or behave a certain way to hold a man's attention. But when you consistently affirm the qualities that make her different, she no longer fears being just another option. Instead, she understands that her presence carries a light that no one else could replicate, and that awareness makes her lean into the relationship with more trust, more openness, and more desire to nurture the bond. This recognition also awakens her feminine energy in the most beautiful way because femininity flourishes when it feels special, chosen, and honored. When you make her feel irreplaceable, she is inspired to give more of her warmth, her affection, and her emotional depth because she knows that her uniqueness is safe with you. She no longer hides her quirks, her passions, or her deepest truths because instead of fearing judgment, she feels celebrated. This kind of acknowledgement not only elevates her confidence, but also strengthens the magnetic pull between you because the more valued she feels, the more drawn she becomes. By pointing out her uniqueness, you are essentially telling her that she is more than just an option in a world of endless choices. She is the one who stands out without effort. This creates a sense of permanence in her heart because being irreplaceable is not about perfection. It's about authenticity. She doesn't have to be flawless to hold your attention. She just has to be herself. And knowing that her individuality is enough gives her a sense of fulfillment that no amount of external validation can replace. In that space of being truly seen, she not only feels irreplaceable to you, but also begins to embrace her own uniqueness with pride, allowing her to shine more confidently in every aspect of her life. Words that highlight emotional impact matter more than material recognition because they speak directly to the heart, where material gestures often fail to reach. Material gifts may dazzle for a moment. They may create temporary excitement or comfort. But words carry a resonance that stays within her, shaping the way she feels about herself and about the bond she shares with you. A gift can be forgotten, replaced, or overshadowed by something bigger or shinier. But the words you speak at the right moment, meant with sincerity and emotional depth, embed themselves in her memory and become a part of her inner world. A woman may enjoy receiving flowers, jewelry, or tokens of affection, but what she truly remembers is how your words made her feel, how they made her realize her worth, and how they created a sense of safety and connection that no material item could ever provide. Emotional impact through words is powerful because it validates her on a level that goes beyond the surface. For many women, the deepest desire is not to be showered with things, but to be understood, appreciated, and acknowledged for who they are. When you speak words that highlight her strength, her resilience, her gentleness, or her contribution, you are touching a place inside her that longs to be recognized. These are the compliments and affirmations that stay with her when she is alone, when doubts creep in, or when she questions her value. Your words serve as anchors, reminders that she matters in ways that cannot be measured in material terms. That kind of impact lingers long after the physical presence of any gift has faded. The reason words hold greater weight than material recognition is that they cannot be bought. They must come from observation, presence, and emotional intelligence. Anyone with resources can purchase a gift, but not everyone can look into her life deeply enough to articulate what truly makes her shine. When you tell her that, you notice her ability to bring calm in chaos, her way of showing compassion when others would turn away, or her determination to rise despite setbacks. You are speaking to her essence. These kinds of affirmations cannot be faked because they require real awareness of who she is. That is why they create such a profound impact. They prove to her that you are paying attention, that you see her in ways others might overlook, and that she is valued for more than what she provides externally. Words that carry emotional impact also have the power to build intimacy because they open up a deeper dialogue between two souls. When she hears words that go beyond surface level admiration, she feels safe enough to reveal more of her authentic self. She begins to share her vulnerabilities, her dreams, her fears, and her unspoken thoughts because she trusts that you are someone who notices more than what meets the eye. That emotional connection sparked by sincere words creates a closeness that material recognition cannot replicate. A gift may impress, but words create belonging, and belonging is what makes her feel emotionally anchored in the relationship. Furthermore, emotionally impactful words make her feel irreplaceable, while material recognition can often feel generic. Flowers and jewelry can be given to anyone, but words crafted from genuine awareness and heartfelt truth belong only to her. When you express what specifically makes her different, what only she brings into your life, she feels seen in a way that no one else could claim. That realization deepens her emotional bond with you because it reassures her that she is not just another woman in your world. She is the one who stands apart. The sense of being truly recognized for her individuality cannot be bought. It must be expressed through words that flow from emotional depth and presence. It is also important to understand that words leave a lasting echo in her memory. She might forget what gift you gave her last year, but she will never forget the time you told her that her encouragement lifted you in your darkest moment, or the moment you expressed how much her presence brings peace into your chaos. Words like these root themselves in her heart and replay in her mind whenever she needs reassurance of her value. They become part of her story, part of the way she defines her importance in your life. This is why words with emotional weight often matter more than grand gestures. They create permanence in the emotional fabric of the room. Relationship. Finally, when you choose words over material recognition, you give her something priceless. The experience of being valued for her inner world rather than her external contributions. You show her that her worth is not transactional, not tied to what she can provide or how she appears, but rooted in the essence of who she is. This strengthens not only her connection with you, but also her connection with herself. She begins to believe in her own value more deeply because your words have reinforced what she may have doubted within herself. That kind of impact does not fade because it is not built on possessions, but on truth. And truth has a way of outlasting everything else. True, compliments must come from authenticity, not manipulation, because the very essence of a compliment lies in its sincerity. When words are spoken with truth and genuine observation, they carry a natural power that cannot be fabricated. A woman knows when you are being real with her, and when you are simply trying to flatter her for your own gain. Authentic compliments are born from presence, from truly paying attention to who she is, what she does, and how she contributes to your life and the world around her. They require you to notice the details others may overlook, to see beyond the surface of beauty or charm, and to acknowledge the depth of her character and actions. When a compliment is real, it resonates with her heart. It strikes a chord deep within her, and it creates a sense of trust that manipulation can never produce. Manipulative compliments, on the other hand, carry an agenda. They are not about her. They are about you and what you want in return. They may sound sweet on the surface, but their underlying energy is hollow because they are designed to provoke a response rather than to express appreciation. Women are deeply intuitive, and they can sense when flattery is laced with expectation. Instead of feeling valued, she feels used, as though her worth is being reduced to how she reacts to your words. This is why manipulation through compliments backfires. It erodes respect, diminishes authenticity, and makes her question your intentions. Authenticity, however, builds trust. And trust is the foundation of attraction, connection, and long-lasting respect. When you give compliments from a place of authenticity, you are not trying to control how she feels about you. You are simply acknowledging what is already true about her. This removes pressure and creates a natural flow between you. She doesn't feel like she has to respond in a certain way. She feels free to accept your words as a reflection of genuine admiration. This freedom is powerful because it allows her to open up emotionally without feeling coerced. Authentic compliments have no hidden strings attached, no subtle manipulation lingering behind them, and that is what makes them magnetic. They make her feel seen without being used, appreciated without being objectified, valued without being measured against any condition. The strength of authentic compliments lies in their specificity. A vague compliment like, "You're beautiful," may sound nice, but it lacks depth because it can be said to anyone without thought. An authentic compliment notices something unique about her. The way her laughter brings light into the room, the patience she shows when others would lose control, the determination she carries through challenges, or the way she cares for people without seeking recognition. These details show her that you are not just looking at her, you are actually seeing her. and being seen for who she truly is creates a bond far deeper than any manipulative praise could ever achieve. It makes her feel irreplaceable because your words are tied directly to her individuality, not to a generic quality anyone could possess. Authenticity in compliments also strengthens emotional intimacy because it reflects honesty and vulnerability. To genuinely acknowledge someone, you must allow yourself to feel admiration without fear of appearing too open. Many men hide behind manipulation because it feels safer, as if controlling the outcome gives them power. But in reality, true power comes from being unafraid to express real appreciation without expecting anything in return. When you give a compliment from a place of truth, you reveal a part of yourself, too. You show that you are confident enough to admire without needing validation back. This is what makes her respect you more, because authenticity always carries the energy of self-assurance while manipulation exposes insecurity. Another reason authentic compliments matter more than manipulative ones is because of the long-term effect they create. Manipulative flattery might gain temporary attention, but it fades quickly, often leaving a bitter aftertaste. Authentic words, however, plant seeds that grow over time. She will remember the way you acknowledged her strength when she doubted herself, or the way you highlighted her inner qualities when she felt unseen. These words stay with her because they are rooted in truth, and truth never loses its value. Unlike material recognition, which can be replaced, or manipulative praise, which can be forgotten, authentic compliments live on in her memory, shaping how she feels about herself and about you. Authenticity also removes the performative nature of compliments. You are not trying to impress. You are not rehearsing lines. You are simply speaking from observation and honesty. This makes your words effortless, yet impactful. Women are tired of shallow lines and rehearsed flattery. What they crave is someone who notices what others don't, someone who values more than the obvious. And the beauty of authenticity is that it cannot be faked. Either you truly see her or you don't. This is why it carries such weight. Because when she senses that your words come from genuine awareness, she feels safe, respected, and connected in a way that manipulation could never achieve. At its core, authenticity in compliments is not just about making her feel good. It's about honoring the truth of who she is. It's about giving words that uplift without expectation, that reveal her importance without agenda, and that highlight her essence without turning her into a means to an end. This is why true compliments always outshine manipulation, because they are rooted in sincerity. And sincerity is the foundation of trust, respect, and attraction that no amount of manipulation can ever replace. At the heart of everything we have explored, one truth stands unshakable. Real connection cannot be built on strategies, tactics, or manipulation. It only flourishes through authenticity, respect, and emotional strength. Whether it is giving her space, pulling back to let her invest, choosing purpose over chasing, or offering words that genuinely honor who she is, attraction is never about performance. It is about alignment with your true self. When you stop seeking validation and instead embody self-respect, emotional control, and purpose-driven energy, you naturally shift from forcing to attracting, from chasing to magnetizing. Women respond not to desperation, but to the quiet power of presence, to the mystery created by restraint, and to the confidence that speaks louder than words. Compliments, distance, energy, and purpose. These are not tools to manipulate her. They are reflections of the man you have become. And it is in becoming that man, one rooted in authenticity, that you stop trying to win her over and instead inspire her to lean closer, not because she has to, but because she truly wants.